Welcome to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The Alumni podcast where you get to hear the inspiring stories and transformation that DVC has had to offer its alumni. And now, on with the episode.
Okay,
And
so
we're live.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay,
Calm
yeah.
down. I know you're excited. I'm excited
Yeah.
too. But we're live, and I want you to
Mhm.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Felicia Sindhu. Actually, I was born in Bali, Indonesia, and I grew up for there like for 20 years. So I spent my primary school and high school there as well. And yeah, so I'm currently studying data science and computer science in Perth, Australia, specifically UWA. And yeah, so that's sort of like a wrap up of about myself. And
Okay.
so I'll just start about the story that I have. How did I get here and everything like that. So fun fact, I used to be a WC student as well. This was back in 2022, I believe. So it was a funny story actually how I ended up in DVC. So initially it was COVID. So I graduated high school in 2020. And then I took a gap year because I was not sure of what kind of major I want to do. I was still kind of like figuring out my options. So I was just like, okay, I'll just take a break for a bit because I remember in high school I've been like studying and studying and studying. So I just like told my parents, can I just like take a break for a bit, just kind of like having fun. But then COVID hits and we were kind of separated. My friends just went overseas and I'm kind of still stuck in Indonesia. And then since my parents felt like, you're not doing anything, I think you should like considering what kind of major you want to do. So apparently I did. At the end, I kind of decided to do data science. And that data science, actually, DVC wasn't my first option. That's surprising again. So in 2021, my parents felt like, okay, how about you're going to Australia instead? But back then, Australia was still closed. So I did it to take online studies in UNSW, which is located in Sydney. And I also took data science as well. But then for mid 2021 to end of 2021, my parents felt like this is pretty depressing. They said because you don't have friends, you don't have like social life or anything. You've just been studying and studying. They're like, what's the fun about this? And then so that's why they decided, how about you drop out from this uni and then try to find other places to study, like actually, because uni isn't just about studying, it's about you make friends along the way. That's what people call it. And yeah, so that's why they decided, okay, how about just drop out and we'll find other options. So, and then in mid 2022, my parents decided, how about you just try out in the US? Because they had friends there and they know how US like looks like. So they said, okay, how about you go there? And also I was just like the first generation daughter as well to go study overseas. So that was a huge jump for me because when I was studying online in UNSW, it doesn't feel like studying. It felt like, oh, it's just COVID, just online courses. Doesn't feel like I'm actually going to uni. But going to the US was at first, it was pretty intimidating, but also exciting at the same time. I was nervous because I never been far away from my parents for like 20 years. And this is the first time I've been really far away. So, yeah.
So let me hold you up a little bit there.
Yeah, sounds good.
I love this. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the impact of COVID is just, this is going to be, we're going to see this for generations. Literally, people are going
Yeah.
to go, oh yeah, But so your parent, and by the way, also, I don't think ever anybody can say that their parents said, "Why don't you drop out of university?" But that's
Yeah,
that's a bit different.
it
Um,
is.
but so talk a little bit about like how did you end up picking DVC as opposed
Right.
to one of the myriad of other programs, and then what that kind of emotional experience was once you kind of got selected and you got your
Mhm.
visa and came on over. So talk about the process of choosing
Yeah,
the school.
sure. Right. So I knew about DVC was from my mom's friends as well. So DVC is really well known in Indonesia, and I'm pretty also open to that as well. There was a few options, but because DVC was the most famous one, and it's also famously known to be the highest transfer rate to UC Berkeley's and just the other UCs and top universities. So I was just like, okay, I'll just give it a shot. And it was pretty also nerve-wracking when waiting for the visa and just getting accepted because I was just like, I just dropped out of uni. I just want to get accepted as well. I was actually want to do an actual like college student life and stuff. But then at the end I did got it. And it was really happy for me as well, and for my parents as well, because they're finally seeing their daughter, like, because it's always been my wish to study overseas since I was high school. I told my mom, like, can I just study overseas? I just want to explore the world because I like to just explore stuff. So that's why giving this opportunity, I'm really grateful that my parents can give this, because not everyone can have this opportunity. And being able to accept it into DVC, which is a well-known college for famously known like highest transfer rate, even for Indonesians community, is what I love the most as well. And yeah, that's what I felt as well. And I'm grateful to be a part of it, definitely.
Cool.
So
So once you got here, and I know I've talked to a lot of people, and I've done a little bit of international travel, and for me, it's always, especially if I'm going someplace I've never been,
right.
and maybe, and I mean, you have probably much better English skills than I have,
Oh
other
no.
language skills. Oh no, I'm, pretty much like I've been to Mexico and Barcelona and even Puerto Rico, which is still in the United States, but
Right.
that moment of getting off the plane and trying to sort through, it's super different. There's all these different languages printed on the signs, trying to figure out, okay, where do I go catch the this? And
Mhm.
so you flew into San Francisco International Airport because that's where everybody flies into.
Yep,
And
that's right.
did you have somebody meet you there at the airport, or did you have to figure
Yes.
it out on your own?
Good thing I'm also grateful again with my parents. So my parents had like an old friends of theirs, and then I get to stay with them for a bit and kind of like explore San Francisco for a bit. And the thing is, I actually went to San Francisco when I was younger, when me with my family actually, when I think I was still just like 12 years old or something. So it's pretty tiny. What I only remember about San Francisco when I was younger was the Golden Gate Bridge and then the Lombard Street thingy. And then that's it. That's what I only remember. Like, so that's the young brain of mine's. But yeah, so I stayed with them for about like 3 days. So I've been with their family. And the thing is, when I was younger as well, I used to go with them as well. They are the ones who used to take around in San Francisco with my parents and then with my siblings as well. So I'm the oldest child as well. And yeah, so they've been really welcoming, like very housewarming as well, and just yeah, and like they just ensure, because like they know I've been like in Indonesia for like basically my whole life, and they just want to make sure that I have like a smoother journey to the US, and they just take me around, and it was really lovely. So I was just in the city for a bit, and then I think after 3 days, then I moved to DVC, and I was located near the apartments there because my parents know that I haven't been like I've never been studying overseas. They don't want me to stay really far away from the college. They want to make sure that I it's just easier for me to access and efficient as well, and to make sure that I'm studying so I don't get distracted with other things as well. But yeah, so it was a really nice actually it was a really nice start, even though I was pretty nervous because even though I have my parents' friends, but I don't have my friends. Like I don't know anyone there. So, because my high school friends, they go to different countries. Some go to Japan, some go to Netherlands, some just stay in Indonesia. So everyone's just been like dispersed and like spread it out. And for me, it was a bit intimidating because I'm much more of an introvert actually. I have like this social anxiety. So it's like I don't know how to approach people at first. So it really pushed out my comfort zone. And then, but I love about how DVC was started like an orientation day for international students. And that was the one thing that I think that was the most memorable one for me when starting the day, because starting my college life, because we were sitting in these round tables, and then basically it's sort of like we were forced to kind of introduce ourselves to each other, but it's a good in a good way, you know. So if I wasn't sitting in that round table, like everyone was forced to sit in a round table, I don't think I can get to know a lot of people at the same time. So it was really good, like how they kind of introduced what the VC is, how they're very welcoming to international students, especially, and then getting to see the facilities around. It was really like, to be honest, it's like a college dream of mine, you know, like how I see in the movies. I'm just like, I'm actually here. Like I can't believe it. It's like it's like a dream. So yeah, it's been really a good experience for me so far.
Cool. So from that time period, so you got introduced, and I know DVC works really hard at
Mhm.
making folks, because especially like for you, you'd never really, other than traveling with your parents when you were small, right? It's like
Yeah.
you'd never been anywhere that was completely
Mhm.
different like this, and
Yeah.
And so I know, especially the international office, and Drew Gephardt and the folks there,
Hmm.
they work so hard at making everybody feel so welcome because it's important because
Yes. Hmm.
you literally are a stranger in a strange land, and
Hmm.
so everything from, getting the stuff to all your stuff for your room and all that
Hmm.
stuff is important. So you get through that day, and so you get into your classes, and I know they do a lot of stuff to make sure that you're on track and
Right.
in counseling and making sure that you need any help. What was
Mhm.
your favorite class or your most memorable moment while you were here at DVC?
Actually, the most my favorite class, I didn't remember exactly the code, but like I think I remember was one of my math classes. So the reason why I like it is because in DVC college, it felt like it's still in high school, but in just in a different country because it's such a small classroom. And I like how they structured where there's like tutorials and also lectures where you can go to your teacher as well, where the teacher just stays in one of the rooms and then we can ask their help and stuff. And that's where I make like really close friends actually from there because at first I was a bit struggling because I think it was after like because the last time I had high school was like 2 years ago. So I think my maths was pretty like rusty a bit. So I was like I need to go to the like my professors, my teachers to kind of like ask just to make sure I'm on my right track. And yeah, I think from there, what I like about it is because of how small the class is, it means that you know those people as well. And then when I go to these teachers, I see the same people, and that's where I can make friends along the way. And we used to just like do stuff together every time we're in college. We just do together. And 1 year of my college year, I've been friends with them ever since as well. Even until now, I still contact them. I still follow them each other in Instagram and kind of like keep a bit of an update, like how's it going from your side, how's it going from my side. So I think that's what I like about DVC. It's just they're just really ensuring just it's not just about learning but also making friends along the way and being able to be like it's not just about like I like about like how they also explain the classes as well. Like it's a bit different of how uni works as well because uni is because I kind of see the comparison between the two. With college is just the teacher really focuses on the students because it's just very small number of students, but in terms of uni it's just a lot of students and it's more of a self-studying. So you kind of have to make sure that you hold yourself accountable. And in college, someone can help you with that, but also make friends as well. In uni, it's like you kind of have to force yourself out there, like join organizations, communities to kind of like to make friends. But with DVC, it's a bit easier in a way. Like especially, I think it's a good for people, especially from literally from out of high school to kind of like transition to college and then slowly to uni. I think it's a good transition, so it's not really like a high jump. So with that, I think I like the math classes. And then I remember one of the classes I like was an English class. Because to be honest, I was struggling with English. Like I can speak, but in terms of writing, I was really
Yeah.
not good at it, grammars and stuff. But with that, I don't remember the professor, but he was really good at it. And I was really appreciated because I remember I didn't really get a good score at first, but then he asked, like, how about we do a consultation? And then he actually really walked me through what am I missing and how can I improve it. So from that, I really took account into his like advices and then feedbacks, and I did. And after that, my scores kept improving and improving. And then that's what I like about it because each like teachers or professors really attentive to the students' performance. And I really appreciate all the teachers in DVC, and they've done a really good job. I never really heard that they don't really do a good job or anything. It's just everyone's been so helping the students. Like it's been so it's been such a great experience for me.
Yeah. Well, you probably did better in English once you kind of got into the swing of it than I ever did
Right.
because I mean I've lived here my entire life, and I did some college English, and it was like I did okay, but it was
Mhm.
not my strong suit. So
Right.
okay, so
Mhm.
let's transition. We'll talk a little bit about you somehow you went from there, and my gosh, you went all the way back to the other side of the world,
It is
so
the other
what
side.
so how did you end up back there? And then we'll talk about kind of your adventure that you've
Yeah,
done up to
of
now.
course. Yeah, so basically, it was a pretty sad story, I would say. So I've been like 1 year, in the, I think in DPC, I've actually made pretty a lot of good friends. People are really nice there, and not only just like the people locally there as well, also Indonesian friends, because I think the Indonesians are pretty big in DVC as well. So it doesn't felt like I'm homesick as well. So it felt like I'm kind of at home, but I'm also not, sort of like that. So it's just a really nice, smooth experience. And I remember I was also spend winter break with my friends in San Francisco. So it was my first time spending Christmas without my family. It's a bit like sad, but at the same time, it's really fun because I've been with my friends. So, and then afterwards, my parents visited me here actually after that. And then for like, I think around February or something, and I was still studying at the moment. But then I think my mom especially, she's very close to me. So, and I was her first daughter as well. And I believe that after thoughtful thinking and after like very deep thinking, she felt like it's a bit too far away from me. Like I think because Indonesia to US is about like almost like a day of our like
Yep.
flight. And then I think my mom and my dad doesn't like flights. So and they're just like they know that I really like the US and they know that I won't be going home anytime soon. So they just told me that what if we're just gonna go back and then because at the end of the day, we're still a family. Even though no matter where we are, we just want to make sure that we're still easily for each other to kind of like visit, to check up on each other. And I think my mom was just, it's because it's her first time and it's also I'm the eldest one to send off her daughter to overseas, and she kind of felt like that there's like this longing and that kind of like loss and stuff like that. So, and I don't want to make her more worrisome. I want to make sure that she's still happy and just make sure that she's
So
not stressed about it. Yeah.
so she got homesick for you to
Yes,
come
it is.
home. Okay.
Actually, yes. Actually, so it's in kind of in turn, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you're here, you're studying hard, you're having a good time, and
Hmm.
it's great to be away
Yeah.
from home as a young woman. And then mom shows up and
Yes.
she's kind of like going, I miss my baby, and you know,
It
just
is. Yeah. No, I actually yeah. I actually
no,
really like
yeah, I understand that, and I
yeah.
completely, I mean, granted, my kids have all pretty much, for the most part, some have moved further away than others, but it's like they're still
Right.
at
Mhm.
most a 2-hour flight, so it's just a little bit
Right.
different.
Yeah. It it is. It is. I think my mom is just because she's the one who's taking care of me and my siblings as well for her whole life. Like
Yep.
her life is just about the kids. So I do really understand what's going on with her. Maybe I don't fully understand because I'm not a mother yet, but I at the same time I don't want to be the daughter that make her worried all the time. So I said, okay, mom, then I'll just go back. And even though it was a sad goodbyes with my friends, because I did make more friends. And then I was actually a part of the international student office for a bit. I was the student, I believe it's not an ambassador, it's like a student assistant or something
Mhm.
like that in international student office. And actually, it's been really great as well. I've gained more insights. I've learned a lot of things of how, because like I think it's my first time actually working as like in a workforce sort of thing, like being in the office and stuff. It's been really nice. Everyone's been so welcoming as well. So I think I remember I told to I believe his name is True. I'm so bad with
Yeah,
with the names.
who
Yes.
who that part
I
runs
act
the department, and
yes.
it's I get it. I mean, I think Drew is absolutely amazing. I think he's done a
Amazing.
terrific job with that. I don't know who was
It
in there
is,
before.
yeah.
I'm sure they did fine, but he brings
Right.
a whole host of skills,
Mhm.
and it's really, I mean, for him, the core thing, he
Mhm.
loves what he does, and for him, the most important thing is the welcoming nature of
Mhm.
being sure that when international students show up, that they
Mhm.
have that opportunity to succeed, and part of that is being part of it, and you got to be part of a team, that's a big
It
thing,
is. It
you
is
know.
actually, yes. And I think I remember I was helping the international student graduation and then helping with the designs and just like everything and then helping like picking up the calls and like walking through like new international students to kind of like migrate here and it's just like to know what's things that they need to be aware of and I think that's where I see the passion of helping people as well, and also like sharing my experience came from. Like being able to talk and just being able to see from my experience and being able to share that to people is something that I realized that this is my passion after all, is something that I want people to know and to make sure that maybe from there they can learn something, one thing or two, or maybe more. So yeah, and I remember I told Drew about me going back to Indonesia for a bit, and then Drew was so heartbroken, and he was actually giving some options if I can stay, or it's like the problems and everything. And to be honest, I really want to stay, and I told Drew about it, and even I told my friends. Everyone was really surprised with the sudden decision as well. Everyone was so heartbroken, and even for me, it was a bit heartbroken because I was just it was really fun in DVC and just outside of DVC as well. And everything was just so fun for me. And I kind of like sort of built the foundation in DVC as well, where I push out of my comfort zone. It's one of the things that one of my proudest achievement because I never knew that I can do that if I was back in high school. Because in back in high school, I was really comfortable with the environment. So I felt like I don't need to do anything. But when I was here, I was forced to learn everything, which I appreciate the most with thanks to my parents as well. So I think from there, I just learned everything. And it's really heartbroken and pretty sad for me to leave. And I think I remember Drew saying that, well, if you come back or something, we're always welcome for you to come back and we're always welcome with your open arms. And that really touches my heart because, like, it's rare for people to say that. And even though I know Drew for just few months, because I remember I joined international student office was just like, I think around February or something. And then it was just really touching to have this like connection relationship with the international student office team, and it was really great and I really love it. But it was tough decision even for my parents as well because my mom knew how much it meant for me to like for my with my friends and how's my life in the US as well. But then I realized that family comes first, and I want to make sure that we're still close together, no matter we're very busy or wherever we are, we're still very close. So, and I do understand that she missed her baby. So I was just like, okay, mom, I do want to fulfill your wish. And yeah, that's why I decided to go back to Indonesia for a bit and decided to be here instead.
Okay. Well, and
Hmm.
and yeah, it's and again, it's that heartfelt connection with Drew is not surprising. He's such a great guy,
Hmm.
and it's like, and I
Yes.
can see it. Well, and it's wonderful that you found a place where you could get outside of your comfort zone and kind of learn to stretch
Hmm.
yourself too,
Yeah.
and you learn the interpersonal skills and all those things, which will come in better. They come in real handy
Yeah.
in life as you work
Hmm.
your way through. So let's talk the next couple of parts, which is actually the part that, I saw that you were, so we connected on for folks that are going to watch this later. So we
Hmm.
connected on LinkedIn, and part of it is I reached out because I'm sitting there looking at, first you're in Australia, Perth,
Hmm.
and you're a DVC student. So it's kind of, and then I started looking at, oh my gosh, just the list of stuff and skill sets that you have, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to
Yeah. Hmm.
Australia. So you ended up at
Right.
University of Australia. Talk about how you got there, and then we'll get into the,
Yes.
the other part of it.
Of
So
course.
you
Yes.
went back to
So.
Indonesia,
Mhm.
and take
Yes.
it away.
And then, so I was just in Indonesia, and then there wasn't actually any plans after all. My parents was just like, okay, let's just go back to Indonesia and let's just brainstorm what we're gonna do. And then I think it was just very last minute decision, not gonna lie, because it was just between 1 month span between after I got back from the US and then me going back me starting my uni in Australia. It was just 1 month. And then my mom especially felt like, how about just Perth? It's very close to home. It's just 3 hours away. And it's just very close. And then I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll give it another try. And then what I was a bit nervous at first was like because this is a new country. I never been to Perth specifically. I've been to vacation to Melbourne, Sydney, but it was when I was young again. But Perth, it was like I don't know anyone. It was really terrifying for me as well. But at the same time, I still have that kind of my child side of me like wanting to still study overseas and still continuing it because I felt like I didn't finish my story there. I need to finish my story afterwards. I need to complete my story. So, and then at the end, I was like, okay, then I'll give it a shot. I went there. It was, to be honest, a big culture shock because I did compare with in the US and like in Australia because specifically for Perth, it's just a much of a smaller city and just the things work away around there is just pretty also different. And I remember when went to Perth here, the first semester, I was actually not in the dorms. Instead, I was living with my my mom's friend's family, and I was not really close to them because they're closer to my mom instead. I never really like went out with them or anything like that. So it was a bit of a homesickness for around like the first semester of my uni here actually, because I believe that dorms is really important as well, or like finding a place close to like college or uni, because like that's where it's easier for you to make friends and just easier for you to go to uni. So it was a bit of like a shock for me because I don't know what to do, sort of like a bit lost. But then I did still push out my comfort zone. That's where I got a takeaway from the US as well, from DVC especially, where it pushes out my comfort zone, where I decided to apply my skills and apply my passion as well when I was in Australia. And I did push out my comfort zone by joining organizations. When I was in DVC, I did join some several organizations as well to kind of not just push out my comfort zone, but also being able to help a community and being able to learn maybe a skill more than two or something. So that's what I did in Australia as well, the uni that I'm currently in. And I did join an organization, which is an Indonesian organization specifically, because I feel like I was homesick. So I just need to kind of close to like my community as well. And I did. And it was such a great, like I would say it was such a smooth experience from there. Because after that, I decided to join organizations again and I decided to apply jobs and especially internships. And from there, I realized that without me being able to, without I started, if I didn't start in DVC beforehand, I wouldn't end up here as well because DVC taught me a lot of things, not just, like I said, not just skill set, like in terms of like your, like major wise or anything, but it's more of like the soft skills as well, that like being able to push out your comfort zone, even though that's from yourself, but it did change my life a lot. And I remember my mom was like visiting me again in when I was still in Australia for a bit, and she did say, "You change a lot. Actually, you become a person that's really better." And you never you because she knows her baby was really introvert. She can't. I was so scared to even talk to a stranger and to approach to people. Like I always like felt like nervous. I always talked to my only friends, and my mom saw like how much I've changed and how much I've become much tougher. Like I just, have that kind of confidence, high self-esteem. Like she was really proud of like how much I've come like really far. And like she proud of like no like even though she was felt a bit guilty initially because she felt like I kind of like take my life away from when I was in the US and then decided to move here. And I told my mom I think it's, I would say it's a very unique experience. Not everyone have experienced that way. And I'm actually grateful to be able to. It felt like, I'm on a vacation, but I'm also studying as well in a productive way. And I felt like this is when I said I want to explore. Apparently, I was not, when I say I want to explore, not just in one country, but also in different places. And I'm grateful to be a part of it. So that's why I ended up here. And it's been such a great experience afterwards.
So, yeah, well, and that's the thing with DVC is a lot of times the
Mhm.
soft skills that you learn, the confidence,
Yeah.
the how to start a conversation, which those are
Hmm.
tough things if you've never had to do it. They're tough skills to
Right.
learn, especially if
Yeah.
you're a little bit of an introvert. Um, but
Hmm.
but I would never have guessed that now. So so you're there in Perth. You've kind of got your feet on the ground and stuff, and so let's talk a little bit about like what you're studying and
Hmm.
okay, so um I've got to brag on you a little bit here. So yeah, well, no, it's just this is just like, oh my gosh, so it says here this is your tagline on your link and your LinkedIn, and I'll probably throw this in the show notes, but it's technology
Right.
consultant intern at Visagio, that you're going to be Bachelor of Sciences in Data Science and Computer Sciences at University of Western Australia, Vice President at Indos PPIA, Lab Facilitator
Mhm.
at University of self-taught UI, UX, and graphic designer. And I'm sure you've got a myriad of other things that you could probably throw in there that you're just being a little humble about. Um, oh
Yeah,
my
no.
gosh, you have just, let's see, you graduated high school during COVID.
Mhm.
You came
Mhm.
out here to the US, learned some soft skills, and then on top of that, you
Right.
ended up back in Australia
Mhm.
doing amazing work. And you've got all these things going on that are just amazing. um, Tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about that. I mean, how exciting is this?
Yes. So basically, what made me started with those things was, I think again, it was DVC actually. I never joined any like organization when I was in high school. I was a very nerd person. I was just like studying, studying, studying every day. And then when I moved to the DVC, I realized I actually connected to some of my friends and just like kind of like make friends along the way. And they told me about, you need to join organizations in order for to build your skill set, to know people. And I took account into that kind of advice as well. And I did join organizations, not just becoming a member, but also become the committee, being a part of the team. And it was really nice as well because at first I didn't know how teamwork works, even though I've been in teamwork. But in terms of like, because community organization, it felt like sort of like a transition of you're going to industries. And that kind of like learn how to you being professional, being able to take accountable as well, being responsible, being able to being also proactive and everything. So it was a bit of a rough, I would say not really rough, but like a bit like rocky road sort of experience because I never sort of like done that before. But then afterwards, I slowly just tried to transition because everyone been so welcoming, being so helpful about it, and apparently I did. So because of that, when I went to the Australia and just studied here, I joined an organization. I pick up that those skill sets as well. And in here, the organizations are much bigger than the one in DVC. So it's a bit more challenging in a way because you need to communicate with more people, be more proactive, and just be more professional in a way. But it didn't stop me there. It just allowed me to, because I'm always a curious person to learn more, keen to learn more, and just want to know how can I just improve myself more. I always told my teammates and my committee members as well in organization that I'm very open to feedback because that's where it's a step by step in order to success. So I don't mind myself making mistakes. So in order for me to learn along the way, and that's what happened. And those during my first semester, even though usually for students, they usually want to take their time and just like, kind of like slowly kind of absorb it. But for me, I think I'm just the type of person that really still curious about like, I want to do something that out of the ordinary. I want to do something that I can tell my young self that I can do much more. Like I want to exceed it. I want to like cross like my actual expectations to see where I can go for. And I remember how like usually I talk to the old people as well, where they're telling me that you should maximize your young time as well. That's where it's the most productive time as well. So I don't want to waste my time. And that's why I started to kind of like push myself rather compared to what I thought that I could do. And that's what I did. Even though I was in Australia for a bit, it was because it was first semester. It was hard for me to find, of course, internships because first year, first semester, I don't have the skill set. No one really want to accept me yet, even though I've been to career fairs and all of them been talking, you're too young to go here. You're too early, actually, to go here because you don't have the skill set yet. I think you should come here by the second year. But that didn't really stop me, even though people keep saying that. I want to prove them that I can still find other ways in order to get like opportunities because opportunities are all the way around. It's just how we need to find a way to get there. It's just our ways. So that's what I did. Apparently, so what I did was finding internships back in Indonesia because even though they're unpaid, but they kind of like a bit more flexible in a way. And even though it was not really aligned to my major, I did because I love graphic designing. Even when I was in DVC, when I was a part of organization, I was a graphic designer as well. So I was like, okay, I want to try to internships of graphic designing because I don't want to just focus on one skill set. I want to focus on a lot of skill sets as well. So I did apply a graphic designing internship and I got in. So even though I was in Australia, I did work from Australia, I guess. Like it's hybrid. No, it's not hybrid. It's like a work from home sort of situation. But instead, I was in Australia, and they were asking about why did I apply, even though you're in Australia, you can find like jobs in Australia. And I said because I just want to find ways that I can learn more things, and that's what I did. And then other things, I've also participated in a hackathon in Australia as well in my first semester. So even though people kept saying, I think you're too early for a hackathon as well, because that's usually for second year, third year. But I just want to prove them wrong and prove myself wrong that no matter what it is, I can prove that I can do better, that I can do this still, no matter like the limitations that I have. And because of that, I actually learn more. I get to learn how hackathon works and how teamwork really matters and like picking up the skill set and just like learning along the way because I was not there because I want to win something. It's more of like I want to learn picking up some important things. So that's what I did. And then from there, it kind of like built my confidence, built my self-esteem and stuff. And that's where I kind of like, okay, it allows me to not just stop at one place. It allows me to keep going, keep going. And that's where my curiosity just grows more and more and more. And then on my first year, second sem, I found out about this internship as well. And even though at first I was a bit I guess back and forth sort of thing, because what if this internship doesn't accept me as well? Because I'm still in my first year and second sem. But I did talk to one of the employees there, and they told me that they're very open to international students, and they're very open, even though you're on your first year, as if you have like skill sets or something that kind of like out of the ordinary, they still want to, you should give it a shot. People kept saying like, you should give it a shot. And I was like, okay, I don't mind doing it. So even though I think a lot of people who applied that internship was like masters, second years, like third years. I was the only first years actually. So I was like a bit scared, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot because I always told myself if I don't give it a try, then when can I get this opportunity? It's always like usually once in a lifetime sort of thing. And I don't want to lose that kind of opportunity anymore. So I did, even though I remember I talked to my friend about it. They were like, is it too early to apply internship? You're still in your first year. I was like, yeah, but I still want to give it a try. You know, if I don't get it, it's still like a learning process because I've applied jobs before. And I think from there, I kind of like build my confidence once again because I know how to do interviews more. I know how to communicate on my side and I know how to be interactive. I know how to just how job works and everything. So, and I did, and it was a pretty tough process because this internship there's like 3 stages. The first one, it was an online test. Secondly, it was a case study assessment center. So you're forced into like groups and then you have to solve a case study and present it in just 1 hour, 30 minutes. And then the third one was just interview one-on-one. So, and fun fact about it, I don't know what this internship about initially. It was like, okay, I heard about internship. I want to try to get it. It was a consulting internship, and I don't really know what a consulting is initially. So, but I was like, okay, but I still want to give it a shot nonetheless. So I researched about consulting on what they want and kind of like learn about their values, their culture. And after that, from 1,600 applicants, they only chose 4. And then from there, I was one of the 4. And I was also very grateful for this. I was not expected this on my first year, second sem. So I was actually I remember every stages that I went through, I always said to myself, I don't know I'll get in. I feel like they're not gonna accept me. But because I have supportive friends around me, they told me that no, you definitely got in. You definitely can do this. Get through it, get through it. Even though I have this sort of like dilemma that I don't know if I'm gonna get in or anything, but at the same time, I said, I want this. I need to get this. So I just move forward and keep moving forward. And then from there, it just really built up more of my confidence. And and I said to myself, I don't want to just stop here again as well. And that's where I decided, okay, let me try to do more things. And I decided to take much more of a higher role. Like before, when I was in the organizations, I was just much more of like committees, just the normal committees. But now I take more of a higher role, like leadership roles, like vice president, and just it become really seeing me right now and from 4 years ago is very different. Even my mom can see that. She's just like, you're like, you're not my baby anymore, but in a good way, you know, because she was really surprised of how much I've come like really far away. And like, she knows that I don't have a lot of support at first because my parents, they never really study overseas. They don't know how it works and everything. So I need to figure out everything on my own. But I told them I don't want to upset them because I want to be able to, because studying overseas is a very valuable opportunity. I don't want to waste that. And I want to make them proud and make myself proud. So that's how it's basically something like that.
Yeah, so I mean that's amazing. I mean I got to thinking about it, and in some ways, I mean I years ago I applied for one of my favorite jobs ever, and I was
Mm-hmm.
going into the interview, and this is before Google, and so I
Oh,
didn't even
okay.
know. Yeah, it's a long time ago, back in the olden days, when wheels were square. But
Right.
it was the thing was is that I had to look up what the organization was, and I had no idea, and I
Mm-hmm.
just had to go in there and kind of work my way through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the job, and it was like, and that was out of people, some of which may have been better qualified for me, but I got it and I did extremely well with it. But I
Right. Mm-hmm.
realized to some degree you got to have enough nerve. That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of what I look at is you just got to have enough nerve. It's kind of like going into the hackathon. I would
Yeah.
have done that mainly because I would want to see it. I want to go in
Mm-hmm.
and see it and see that way you can get some idea of what's it
Right.
like. Okay. And then,
Mm-hmm.
first time out, the only expectation is to learn. And then all of a sudden,
Yes.
oh my gosh, we did well. Okay. Well, we can do even better
Exactly.
now
Yeah.
that I know.
Yeah.
So I see that. So your story is amazing. So where do you see yourself? So you're only first year at university there. You've got another year at least to go, right?
Yes, I'm on my second year right now, so
Okay.
I'll be graduating at the end of this year actually. So it's I would say if I see myself in the future, it's just being able to stay here, actually,
Hmm.
because I think I just love the culture nonetheless. Like what I see, the resemblance between the US and Australia, it's just people here are just so welcoming. Everyone's been so helpful and they're just like, they're not discriminate against anything. They're just really, very like understandable. That's what I realized because I'm still currently interning. And the one thing that I really appreciate with the company that I intern is that even though I'm like working like interning part time, they also understands that I have other commitments, like especially uni and everything. And they said prioritize your uni first. Don't prioritize the
Hmm.
job. So that's what I really love about the culture wise here. Everyone's just been so nice. Everyone's been so welcoming. So I think what I see myself in the future is just being able to stay here, work here, build a life here, and just because I just even though I have family back home, but I also have family here. I told like I've made like really good friends. They've been such a family to me as well. They've been taking care of me like up and down and everything. They've been along the way. So like my wish is just being able to stay here and maybe I can find a way to bring my parents along here as well and make them stay here and just and maybe we can just call it second home here, where and it's easy for them to visit like back and forth as well and it's actually like my brother is planning to study here as well. So I was just like, why not everyone just move here? I would love that. And I think for me, it's just a much of a simpler dream that I have is just to see everyone happy and also including myself to be happy and like seeing my family to be happy and just wherever we are, we're just happy with the lives that we have right now. So I think for me, I'll just continue with the internship that I'm currently on because so far, performance wise, everyone's been saying I've done a good job as an intern. So I see myself just working with this company and just, I guess, I think one of the things that I have in my bucket list is being able to explore the world. Actually, I told my friends, I was like, I actually want to go on a vacation. I haven't had vacation for so long, even though I've been vacation sort of like in the US, in Australia, I've been sort of vacation, but in terms of actually exploring the world, I haven't really been done much. And I remember I was doing that when I was too young. So I don't really remember what like the places and everything. I just remember like very iconic places. So I want to do that as well and just like live my life sort of thing. Because my parents and I think my friends told me like you're still 20. I'm turning 23 this year. So like you're still young, you're still in your 20s, um be productive but also have fun at the same time. So during like my last year right now, I actually want to be productive but also I also want to be having fun as well, like going out with my friends and just just doing those things as well. So that's sort of what I see myself in the future. And maybe who knows, after working in these internships and just getting to know the industries, maybe in the future I can start my own business. I was planning to to have my own startup. I think I can see myself there, even though I was a bit scared at first because like when I was my introvert side of myself, I was like, I think opening a business is so scary. There's a lot of risks, consequences, and stuff like that. But I think after that, I slowly see myself. Actually, I think I'm comfortable in opening a business that I can see that growing. So I really want to do that as well. And yeah, I think that's basically sort of my vision. And but then everyone kept telling me of how like sort of already have a lot of foundation. It's just for me just to keep moving forward. I keep telling people, keep moving forward, no matter how hard it is. Struggles is it's your learning process actually. If you don't struggle, if you don't fail, if you don't make mistakes, then you won't be a successful person because every successful person is always have gone through that. They've gone through failures, mistakes, struggles, and that's where we get to learn to not make the same mistakes or going through the same struggle. So yeah, that's basically of what kind of I vision myself in the future.
Well, I can see you at some point doing a startup and be successful with it. And when you do that, I'd love to have you back on and talk about it and
No,
kind of
of
like
course, yes.
because again, it's like it take yes, it's scary, but it takes nerve to do it. And the worst thing that can happen
Yes.
is you always get to start over. That's the whole
Yeah,
beauty of it,
exactly. Yes.
So
Yes, that's right.
well, I want to thank you so much for our time.
Mhm.
Again, I want to be respectful because you're on tomorrow and you're getting into your university. It's early there and getting
Yes.
late here. But
It's
again,
okay.
but thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you as well.
you bet.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Charlie, for your time as well.
Thank you for tuning in to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next, the podcast for the DVC Alumni Association. You can contact us at alumni@dvc.edu with any comments, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our podcast.